So first what I did was I traced the elephant template onto the foam, and this was really the only simple template I could find, and I will link this template below in the description box so you can use it if you want to. And as you can see, I did make the head a little bit rounder, and I also made the trunk a little bit smaller as well. So next we want to start cutting this out. So here's what the shape looks like so far. And you basically just want to keep trimming it until it looks kind of the same on both sides. And then what I did was I started rounding off the legs. So what you want to do is you want to draw two lines at the bottom of the squishy and make sure that they line up with each other. And then what you want to do is you just want to cut in between the lines like so, to make the legs. And then you want to start rounding off the bottom of the legs, so you just want to cut off all of the corners and then just shape it into an oval shape. So basically like that, and then you just want to do that for the other three legs. So I'm just going to finish this and I'll be right back. So here is what it looks like once I finish shaping the legs. And I did end up making them a little bit smaller, as you can see. And next what you want to do is you want to start rounding off the body. So you just want to make curved cuts at the bottom like so. Just to make the body look a little bit more rounded. And then you also want to make curved cuts on the top part of the body as well. And then just smooth it off with your scissors. So basically like that. So I'm just going to finish this and I'll be right. So here's what it looks like once I've finished rounding off the body. And one thing I forgot to mention is you want to make sure that the tail is in the centre. So next what you want to do is you want to start rounding off the head and the trunk. So you just want to, again, you just want to make curved cuts all the way around it, like so. And then you want to make sure that the trunk is kind of in the centre of the head, if that makes sense. So you just want to cut it like so. And again, you just want to continue just to round off the head. So I'm just going to finish this. So here is what it looks like once I've finished rounding off the head, and I also smoothed off the trunk as well. And as you can see, I also cut a little indent at the bottom of the trunk. And I also made some indents on the sides of the head just to make the cheeks look a little bit more chubbier. And I also made an indent all the way around the head, as you can see. And I think this turned out really good. So next what you want to do is you want to start making the ears. So what I did was I just traced 2 ears on 2 pieces of foam, and I just used this template here and I just traced it onto the foam. And I'll also link this template below in the description box so you can use it if you want to. And then you just want to cut these out and then smooth off the shape. So I'm just going to do that. So here's what the ears look like so far. And as you can see, I already finished smoothing off one of the ears. So what you want to do is you just want to smooth off the edges just really carefully, like so. And you also want to smooth off the back as well and just make it a little bit thinner. So you just want to just make it as smooth as possible. Until it looks like this. So I'm just going to finish that. So here is what the two ears look like once I finish smoothing them off. And we're going to be gluing these on later. So now the next step is optional, but what I did was I just took some more foam and I drew on Dumbo's hat, and it's basically like a rectangle and then a triangle shape that has a slight curve at the top. And then you want to start cutting this out. So here is what it looks like so far. And again, you just want to keep trimming it until it looks the same, or kind of the same on both sides. And then what you want to do is you want to round off the bottom into a circle shape. So you just want to cut off all of the corners like so. And you also want to cut off the pen lines to make an indent. So you just want to make it into a circle shape. So basically like that. And then you also want to smooth off the top as well. So you just want to make curved cuts. And then just continue shaping it with your scissors. So I'm just going to finish this and I'll be right back. So here is what the hat looks like once I finish smoothing it off with my scissors. and I think it looks really cute. And again, we're going to be gluing this on later. So now the next step is also optional, but what I did was I took some yellow felt and I just traced a circle onto it using this tin, and then I just cut out the shape, but I made it a little bit like wavy, as you can see. And this is going to be his collar, I think it's called. And then what I did was I used a smaller container and I just drew a smaller circle inside and I cut it out. And you want to make sure that it fits around the squishy like so. And then once you've done that, we can start painting it. So next what I did was I painted the whole elephant grey. And I just mixed black and white paint together and I just painted the whole thing. And then what I did was I mixed white and a little bit of light pink and red paint together, and I painted the ears. And then I painted the edges grey, and I also painted the back of the ears grey as well. So now on to the next step. So next what I did was I painted on his eyes using my black, white and blue puffy paint. And I just used these images here as reference. And I also painted on his eyelashes and also the lines on his head or his eyebrows, I'm not really sure. And I also painted on some lines on his trunk and also on the legs. And then I used white puffy paint for the feet. And then I painted on a smile using my black puffy paint, and I also painted on the nostrils. So now on to the next step. So next what I did was I used my red puffy paint to paint on two lines on the collar. And again, I just used these images here as reference. And then I painted the hat yellow. So next you just want to let this all dry and then we can move on to the next step. So once everything is dry, next what you want to do is you want to glue on the ears. And I just use this all-purpose glue. and I think the ears look really good. So lastly, what you want to do is you want to glue on the hat and also the collar around his neck, like so. And then once you've done that, your squishy will be finished. So once you've done that, here is what the final squishy should look like. So as you can see, I glued on the collar and the hat, which I think is super cute. And I'm really happy with how this squishy turned out. And I know it didn't turn out exactly like Dumbo, but I'm still really happy with it. And I did accidentally smudge some of the grey paint on one of the ears, but that's okay. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, please feel free to request some more squishy tutorials you would like me to do in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.